religious Islamic sect. You get? That was their mission, to establish that fake reality, not reality, but that fake appearance of reality, that semblance, that color to the people, which is the color that most people have of the Moorish movement now, and anyone says that's not true is a liar, because that's the concept that people have this movement. Until we came out and started reaching out to them while everybody else was being silent, condemning us for doing it too. And we put literature out there to change their concepts so they could have something to reference to. You understand? Just like the prophet said do. Exactly what the prophet said do. People mad at us, still mad at us for it. I don't care, because I'm not in it for them. I got babies, and they got babies. And they got babies, and the babies that's still in the womb. And I ain't having it. I'm a soldier. I came as a defender for no withdrawal. That's why I do what I do. I'm telling you bluntly. And I ain't afraid.
Move the force of the conscious game. Superstars won't spend all those G's just a supercar. I'd rather put the funds to move the force guns. Dr. Sebi remedy in truck skids and tons. Signing bonus, gift to Gabriel or Igbo or UMIA. Let more replace Negro. I'm not the face watcher or friend beggar. I'm not the type to take back what I tell ya. Tight pants and dry flows, I want a Rockefeller. Black Hawk down, a fly rapper and snap propellers. Airspace in these bars are no flow zones. I heard R&B singers are homo drones. I heard that from a gay rapper dressing so thug. G's can't pass butt cheeks, dressing so snug like a snuggle bear. Showing me your underwear. Rapper Inquisition make rappers run from fear of being shown up. You already thrown up. Punchlines and hooks leave their face swole up. Or like the trials, if you don't pay what's owed up. Rapper Inquisition, horror flick, the lips sewn up. Can't go one-on-one for IHF zone up. Using the fiat and deals, pumping their clones up. Making more rap clones like iRobot. Short circuit the whole industry of rap phone bots that butts boinking. Working with the ones oinking. Hip-hop's hurting IHF, the vocal ointment. Flow like a break waves and b-boy girl dancers. Spit like pain of old school graphers. Fiend for the true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content that you used to. Fiending for true hip-hop scratching like a producer. MC OGs with content that you used to.
They want make we life hard like pavement. Me no afraid to make my statement. Babylon go on with the mental and physical enslavement. Think right now if we all live like cavemen. How much go dead dog, how much now we make it. The righteous replace them, the more side erase them. Discrimination, plague in we nation. Unity is strength, we weak with separation. Jail houses meant to deplete elevation. Wisdom visit under deep meditation. Or we want to see under sleep medication. Earth are the healing of the nation. Tell them police, we that stop chase, man, especially since we know no fool, no place that's flirt of the truth. Me know say you can't take that. See them chat, yeah, this rasta, not take back, you don't know.
Couldn't grasp half of the shit that we've been through. These clip ass niggas making comments on YouTube. TorontoRappers.com talking about you too. Generation switch, shouldn't have to show you. Big man grow, bitch, don't worry about the old school. Haven't seen a man you used to see before. Cause certain man don't want the face see no more. Get off our dicks, your pussies is whores. Tendencies of a bitch, you should learn to be a more. And while you're hating, we'll keep repping T-Ho and celebrating, cause enough soldiers soon home. We penetrating, got the locks and the codes, so do your own time, bro. We alright, everybody on their own ground, but we still tight. It's just a miscommunication, which brothers don't fight. You need an occupation, or I forgot you tight. Shit about other man, cause you covered their life. What your business, you should mind, though we work nights. And you ain't hard to find once darkness comes to light. And I don't care, you can take my flesh life here. I manifest, and I come back in your nightmares. And I kill you there, I've been traveling for light years. I can't die, but they won't see you horny or you won't wake up. Need to call the coroner, another wake up. Your boys will be corona, cause they slept. Reminisce about the morning saying what the. Just yesterday we was vlogging with each other. Shouldn't have, with just another brother. And the rest of the camp, 2 decades straight. We've been making a stamp, yay. I know you say you don't even know me. I make it clear I'm a Flemodon OG. Year to year made stacks off the Mosies from the block to the bars.
I'm known we between the rats and the stars. I play it low key, looking down, and it's far at the top. It's getting lonely.
Of course, the ages that exist, whether or not it's informed by my lips, labeled angelic or devilish, based on the view the beholder gets. To the older we get, our perspectives and action change, regardless lines drawn between those that intend to him the gain. Similar, not the same, from which others see the left to complain. The reference frame change, while still is the game. While we train, this battlefield, knowing when karma kicks is real. My mental plus my temple must be ready to switch from hurt to heal. It's true to reveal similarities since they be following orders accordingly from trust to destiny. So mercy's unnecessary, murder honorably one's enemy. And as long as karma mode exists, an opposition has to be.
Come test me now. Come test me now. Yeah, come test. I'm flattening your career, make a whack rap. Too many whack rappers out there. This one's for y'all, yo. Sonic. I'm flattening your career, make a whack rapper disappear. Grab you by your shirt back and kick your ass out of here. Bystanders run for cover, cause I'm back to reap havoc. Remember me? To kill them all and make them die tragic. Turn the opposition, cock it back and let him have it. Let him vanish like I'm a magician and raps with magic. And like poof, you're gone. With the proof I'm on. To all your non-substance rappers, if you want, respond. Give y'all a second, but I recognize you're repping some metrosexual shit. That's not the way that I'm stepping. I studied last year's testing, skimmed the cheat sheets. So test me now, kill commercial rap like dead meat. If you don't know, I'm Simon Phoenix and I deadbeats. I'm commercial rap on front page. I can't be discreet. Lyrically dumb heat, leaving bodies in tall heaps. No mortal can walk like I bow and kiss my feet. Call me sire. Throw out your skinny jeans and retire. Back you up against the wall with hail or gunfire. Sharp talent, shred your skins and shatter your bones. Stay out of the kitchen. Better yet, drop the microphone. Steadily prepping better recipes. I rap till the end, but rap won't be the death of me. At a shower party when I catch ya, I wet ya, then blow you up the crime scene. All that's left is your stretcher. So test me now, make your fans convert. Have them wearing fatigues and burning tight pink ass shirts. Have them dashing out the flashy clothes like I'm not trying. Milling you pipe bombs, labeled a wannabe rap icon. Check me later, I'm gone. Thought I died, but I respond. My words are bondable, but when I speak, don't respond. I drown shallow-minded MCs in a shallow pond. Mobilize a million men to march like I'm Farrakhan. But I'm more like Malcolm and my brother's son Falcon. Chasing crazy ball heads out of our town after I scalp them. Bit off more than you could chew, motherfuckers. Come test me now. So test me now. So test me now. Idiot.
I'm just sitting in the attic, looking at the house, my house. And I just realized, I don't even got no neighbors. On this block, no neighbors. Right here, no neighbors. Clubbing my wheel, no neighbors. Yeah, I don't got no neighbors.
It's like way too many melodies singing these days. Blind niggas ain't singing these days. Blind niggas ain't swinging these kids. Blind niggas ain't swinging these keys on the block. These niggas ain't thinking these ways. No job, nigga never got raised. No pop, nigga never got raised. Hustle hard every day, I need vacation. Smoking the plant, that's what I call Cajun. Taking my lap, that's what I call blazing. I'm cutting like Jason, that's a runaway. If it's beef and I see you with gun on me, that's a outlet. Lay the keys up under me, like I'm rowing a boat, the seas up under me. These niggas lacking passion. These niggas never come alive when it happens. These niggas need a casket, so I'm whipping the ghost like the poltergeist. Only sevens and up when I roll a dice. Stepping up to a roller to show the ice. Niggas show the price, niggas show the price. Dollar sign with the bling bling. When I'm in line, get the ching ching. Lock me down now, sing sing. I'll probably still never sing sing. Win, that's all we do. Spin like a baller do. These niggas only talk about all the things that they ought to do. UHM every time, front page of the article. Switching lanes at the line, make way for the audible. Yeah, we smoke, yeah. Window panes, you remember me, yeah. Ain't no free smoke, yeah. I came with the remedy. I don't really need no neighbors. Check my crib out, you gon' really see. No neighbors lighting up the streets like Billie Jean. My tires screeching, leave them lost, you gon' remember me. No neighbors. Check out hotline like I'm at the checkout. Price checking like I'm at the checkout. I know I can still afford it. I'm just trying to hold the line up. Catching wreck with the record. I'ma break it when the time's up. Life is so real, yeah. I fell asleep at the wheel, yeah. Woke up in time, yeah. Shorty bustin' it for real, yeah. High heels on the hills for now. Let me feel, let me feel. Shorty, tell me how you feel for now. What the deal, what the deal? Life is so real, yeah. I fell asleep at the wheel, yeah. Woke up in time, yeah. Shorty bustin' it for real, yeah. High heels on the hills for now. Let me feel, let me feel. Shorty, tell me how you feel for now. What the deal, what the deal? Every time I find myself, I hear somebody calling me.
No neighbors, no neighbors.
Riding all around the city, I can ballin' like he ought to be.
No neighbors, no neighbors.
Check out the scene, I don't really need no neighbors. Check my crib out, you gon' really see. No neighbors, lighting up the streets like Billie Jean. My tires screeching, leave a mark, so you gon' remember me. No neighbors.
Islam Morris. Peace and love. I am Noble Man, Menelik Rahim Brown L. And I'm coming to you today on this beautiful holy day in honors to our illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I want to start off Morris today with our divine and holy prayer. Allah is the Father of the universe. Allah is the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my God, my salvation, and my protection by night and by day through his illustrious holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Ameen in Islam. Yes, that's how we're going to start off today, Morris, with some salvation. And we're going to talk about certain things that our illustrious prophet came and brought upliftment to our people. Now, certain things is qualified to know, for you to know certain things. And, as far as uplifting fallen humanity, we have to understand that the prophet came and he brought us the Circle 7 Quran, which is some more proof that the prophet is de jure in his lessons and in his teachings and in his most illustrious works. So people try to come, throw those Masonic questions, trying to trip, Moors up because they have a prophet that is, new in this day and time. We're not saying anciently we didn't have prophets then, but Allah brought us salvation 100 years ago, Morris, and we're still running around here without a damn clue. So hopefully this message that I display today will not fall on deaf ears. So within that, we're gonna start off, shall we? So, I want to come in with certain degrees. Okay. All right. Noble Drew Ali, our prophet. I'm gonna give y'all really, really true adapt knowledge as far as the author. And the author is for those who know. So as far as the more science movement, right? The more science and national divine movement that was started by Noble Drew Ali. Okay, Morris, and we have to realize that a lot of things that that we study, we have to be on point with, and as far as the Holy Temple of Science, you see what I'm saying? The supporting branches, splinter groups, private or registered, general laws are and pertinence to the jurisdiction of the United States government. The biography, you see what I'm saying, of the prophet is really, his life works is really hidden from us. Like, we don't have all the necessary tools or works that the prophet had brought to us. We probably have videos of the prophet, some of his lessons, some audio of the prophet, what I mean? But they refuse to let some of this information come out. So why they refuse to let some of this information come out? Obviously, they refuse some of this information because Dirty Moors came in to, disrupt what the prophet had going on. They came to coup his movement, just like they came and coup the Republican form of government. So that's why we are swimming in the cesspool of sharks. So for people that don't know, Prophet Noble Drew Ali warned us that they will try to take this movement down so low, what I mean, it will they will try to disappear this movement. But before I let them tear this movement up, I'm gonna let them tear themselves up by trying to tear down this movement, by saying that they are part and partial instead of part and parcel to the said government. So it's really a real, you know, um, travesty how they take our prophet's lessons and they rearrange them, strangely mix his truths with lies. And they think that new morns that coming in with their eyes wide open, that the prophecies are not going to come into fruition. Well, they got another thing coming because Allah guides this movement. Um, for 15 years, you know, um, I just been thinking about certain things as far as, you know, looking at, stuff real closely in my life. You know, I started being real conscious, like in my going into my late 30s. You know what I mean? Like 35. Um, so, I always knew, but at the same time, I wasn't ready to receive, you know? So, sometimes we have to clear, what I mean, a lot of the distractions out of our way so we can receive the message. That's when you truly, take things to consideration and really try to bring a real message out there for Moors. Um, as far as, you leading by example and you live in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Um, normally, we have a lot of things that went on as far as, corporations and the United States um, trying to usurp, Moorish sovereignty through their litigation. And it's just a lot of things that brings us into a new mode of thinking and understanding now because, you have so many people that came through this organization and really sold the profit out. You had Charles Kirkman Bay. Um, then you had Love L. Then you had, Lomax Bay. Um, a lot of these dirty Moors that came out to help bring this movement low and bring it into a Shriner type Masonic movement. Change the temples into lodges. Have the people inside singing hymns. Instead of bringing the real true lessons and the true civics that the prophet intended for our people to learn and study and get a real good appreciation of knowing the law and knowing how to be a law abiding citizen that can enforce law and abide by law. But you have to understand organizations was made out of the prophet's lessons and movements. They turned his organizations into inks, 501c's, corporations. that is really against what his lessons and teachings was about. So if you have to consider the real evidence that you have naturalization in these temples that going against nationality, okay, how can you naturalize the aboriginal in his own land? Naturalization is for foreigners, okay? So if anybody that need to be naturalized is the United States citizens, which I mean, they're gonna have to go back to Muslim law and the Constitution because they ran their Republic Sullivan. It's bankrupt. So for them to even have any type of standing, they need to get back into the constitutional fold, and they have to come up under the Moors ipso jure. You know, it's not even about slavery anymore, y'all, because what people don't understand, the caste system that's been going on for generations and decades, for centuries and stuff, that Moors sat up, and we were up under a caste system here. You know what I mean? That because we had all type of Moorish people here and all nationalities here, and we had certain Slavs here. So you had to have a caste system for certain people to be in a certain class. You know, just like the United States corporation tried to do with the middle class, and you know, some of the middle class, you had lower class, middle class, and high class, right? So if you're in the middle class, you right in between, please. It's so much fraud that our people have to go through daily, as far as sorcery, like shameless thieves and blue lodges, you know, predicating on the people, doing things and secret things, you know, because you can contract however you want in America. And if you don't know how to contract and you don't know you have any rights, you really don't have any rights. You don't even have anything to afford your protections. So that's why nationality is really, 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 really the answer of the day. You see what I'm saying? So if you're stateless, you need to be, or you're a ward, you need to be really seriously thinking about nationalizing yourselves and nationalizing your family members. And if they don't want to nationalize, I can understand it because that's life. A lot of people want to know what a nationality afford them. Protection and knowing your rights and stop being somebody color. You know, Noble Drew Ali is the first American prophet. Okay, and nobody wants to show my prophet any love. Hmm. That's not noble. Noble Drew Ali is the first complete book of self freedom ever to be written by an adept disciple of the last prophet in these days. And in true Drew Ali fashion, the book is made publicly available to all the descendants of ex-slaves in the United States. Now, we're saying ex-slaves because your mentality, once your mentality has already been predicated with, lies, and you think you Negro, you think you colored, you think you black, you thinking you African American, well, then you becoming their chattel property. You becoming their slave within what they'll call natural human resources, because that's what they did to us. They turned us into natural human resources. So we're saying slavery within that means, not physical slavery, what people think with the whips and chains, somebody's beating you across the back. No, 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 not in that way. Because liberation is, freeing your mindset and able to function and run your own business, not run somebody else's business. Remember that saying, mind your own business? Well, Moors need to get into that, minding their own business. So, you know, the last prophet in these days, and true Drew Ali fashioned the book and made publicly available to all the descendants of ex-slaves in the United States. The purpose of this book is primarily educational and written as a study guide in order for the Moorish Americans to raise their finite thoughts to infinite wisdom. Through this book, unifying format, they can pick themselves up by their own merits and obtain freedom that no man can take away. Self freedom is the only pure autonomy. If someone other than you possesses the power to free you, they can also enslave you again. I promise you, um, don't let this stuff confuse you. Study it. Bring yourself into a better understanding because confusion will leave you in a quite you know absolute like bliss of not knowing. Okay, so we don't want you to not know. We want you to know because knowing is half of the battle. Okay, so for us to get back into autonomy, you know what I mean, and to raise up, noble men and women, we have to be nobles ourselves. We have to correct oneself instead of trying to change the world. Correct yourself. So once you start with correcting yourself, then you'll be able to correct others or be able to teach others. Okay? Make sure your house is in order. So we have to have a unifying format. Plus, have our own merits and obtain freedom that no man can take from us. As the ministry of Noble Drew Ali was not performed under the names of Negro, Black, or Colored, like a so-called African American, okay, did not and could not have written this biography because Moors have to write um biographies and books, and so they can put a Moorish perspective instead of you know Eurocentric perspective, that's been colonized and been influenced. So also through Noble Drew Ali's prophecy of his supreme laws, will he hand it down to you later, which has been cast into the latent realms of the public domain since 1929, derived the love, wisdom, and will to bound his manuscript as author. I am of the uttermost certainty it is a written testimony or a humble fruition of the divine ordination to the new era of Ali. And for the first time in over 3/4 of a century, these lessons from a higher plane of consciousness are being revealed to the indigenous sons and daughters of the Americas and adjoining islands. This disclaimer also includes the absence of any evil motive, ill at ease, hateful intent of deliberate allegations, agitations to the emotional feelings, beliefs, or trust of any individual group, religion, or government. I definitely do not harbor hatred for the MSTA. However, needless to say, in order to exhume the body of Moorish American nationals, some dirt must be removed. And if your actions, your guard, or laws of your government have been used as a particle of dust to the dirt which has buried my people, be assured you will be moved, yet none will be harmed during the exhumation. As for the salvation of the so called African American, everyone and their mama is either a part of the examination As for the salvation of the so-called African Americans, everyone and their mama is either a part of the problem or a part of the solution. Okay, so that's why we have to be very, very, very studious about being a solution to our conundrums. Certain aspects in life don't never ever be resolved unless we resolve them ourselves. So uh, we're gonna read. Jesus attends a feast in BR, and here he taught equality. The fame of Jesus as a teacher spread through all the land, and people came from near and far to his words of truth. At BR, on the sacred river of the Brahmas, he taught for many days, and Ankh, a wealthy man of Bihar, made a feast in honor of his guests, and he invited everyone to come, and many came. Among them, thieves, extortioners, and courtesans, and Jesus sat with them and taught. But they who followed him were much aggrieved because he sat with thieves and courtesans, and they upbraided him. They said, Rabboni, master of the wise, this day will be an evil day for you. The news will spread that you consort with courtesans, and men will shun you as they shun an wasp. And Jesus answered them and said, a master never screens himself for the sake of reputation or of fame. These are but worthless babbles of the day. They arise and sink like empty bottles on a screen. They are illusions and will pass away. They are the indices to what the thoughtless think. They are noise that people make, and shallow men judge merit by the noise. Allah and all master men judge men by what they are and not what they seem to be, not by their reputation and their fame. These courtesans and thieves are children of my Father, Allah. They souls are just as precious in his sight as yours, or of the Brahmatic priest, and they are working on the same life sums that you have solved. You men who look at them with scorn, and some of them have solved much harder than you have solved. You men who look at them with scorn, yes, they are sinners and confess their guilt, while you are purity, not but are shrewd enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. Suppose you men who scorn the courtesan, these drunkards and these thieves who know that you are pure in heart and life, that you are better far than they, stand forth that man may know just who you are. The sins, the lies, and the wish and the desires, not in the act. You convert other people's wealth. You look at charming forms, and deep within your heart, you lust for them. Deceit your practice every day and wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish selves. The man who converts is a thief, and she who lusts is a courtesan. You who are none of these speak out. Nobody spoke. The accusers held their peace. And Jesus said, the proof this day is all against those who have accused. The pure in heart do not accuse. The vile in heart who want to cover up their guilt with holy smoke or piety are never loathing drunkards, thieves, and courtesans. This loathing and this scorn is mockery, for if the tinseled coat of reputation could be torn away, the loud professor would be found to reveal in his lust, deceit, and many forms of secret sin. The man who spends his time in pulling others people's weeds can have no time in pulling his own, and all the choicest flowers of life will be choked and die, and nothing will remain but darnel thistles and burrs. And Jesus spoke a parable. He said, behold, a farmer had great fields of rippled grain, and when he looked, he saw that blades of many stalks of wheat were bent and broken down. And when he spent his repels forth, he said, we will not save the stalks of wheat that have the broken blades. Go forth and cut and burn the stalks with broken blades. And after many days he went to measure up his grain, but not a kino could he find. And then he called the harvesters and said to them, where is my grain? They answered him and said, we did accordingly to your word. We gathered up and gathered up and burned the stalks with broken blades, and not a stalk was left to carry to them. And Jesus said, if Allah saves only those who have unbroken blades, who have been perfected in his sight, who will be saved? And the accusers hung their heads in shame, and Jesus went his way. So within that, he's letting you know that it's no man without sin, and man can redeem himself out of sin once he understands who he is. Okay? So regardless of people, all these hypocrites want to try to, throw the stone and hide the hand, but don't want to, conform to what the hell they doing. And they so holy, see what I'm saying, and thou. The fact are here to verify only the great God of creation could breathe into the body of an ex-slave born in the state of North Carolina, 1886, and by the age of 27, prepare him with the ancient Egyptian mystery system in Egypt, give the wisdom of a guru master, ordain him with the true free national set name of his nation. The missing 18 years of the life of Yeshua and the signs to break the Freemasonic seal to the U.S. tombs 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, where his people lay in an unconscious state. This is only the beginning. Meanwhile, most people of today's computerized information age still do not know these truths. Read and judge this for yourself. Surely you too will witness the divine eradication of all so-called Negroes, blacks, and colored people by slave name principles and actions. Once the Moors are back, there will be no more blacks for all educational names, principles, and actions. Once the Moors are back, there will be no more blacks for all educational names, principles, and actions. Purpose. Noble Drew Ali's is to brighten the dim civilization light of Africa, which has been shaded by the West. From time to time, I will refer to the Bible. I am African history book itself, originally written in Low Greek, being the darkest shade used to obscure the light of the Creator first chosen people. This is because it has been being the darkest shade used to obscure the light of the Creator's first chosen people. This is because it has been chiefly used to shepherd the nation and Negro lambs around rather than in the first of truth. Still, the only way out of the fire is through the fire, and truth will make you free. Therefore, this is a written testimony, not to slander any man has done, but to brighten and heighten and highlight what has been done, okay, or not done, for the era enlightened solely by Noble Drew Ali. I desire to give the Moors history and future from their purest perspective, and in actuality, leaving alone the line of history as drawn in the sands of time by Europeans and those who accept their teaching. This Moorish study guide is written in love, and when read with love will show each reader how to erase the short line of falsehood that has been spewed on our lovely and illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So these people been coming out of their face trying to slander a prophet that was already ordained. The only way love will conquer hate is by being love. God defends the devil by being God, not by playing the fool by halves. The latter is congenient upon the former with love. God, okay? Hatred and the devil fade into non-existence. Like so, the essence of um, love and companionship and kindness, contentment, um, salvation. So, for you to be a good leader, you already should know that Africa is really it's really a new term which means terra, okay, which means land. You see what I'm saying? That Moors, civilized, just like his 10 islands that they call Africa now, that's over here in America on the adjoining islands. So it's a lot of history that that a lot of people is not privy to, and and people don't know or don't want to know, because when we think about certain things, people got to understand that research, okay, is at your fingertips when it comes to this information. People got to understand that Moore's analogy is ours, because people got to understand masonry was created by Moors. All right. And masonry been here for a long time. So that's why Moors created a system for masonry to thrive. Okay. Now masonry is the main thing that's stopping us from going into our national capacity, because everybody want to play this checkerboard or chessboard games, this black and white stuff. All right. So for us to come into our own, we have to dismantle this black stuff, especially if you are Asiatic. Okay. So within that regard, Moors have to be studious, and Moors have to stay with the real information by proclamation of his inalienable right to have a nationality. I'm a free man. I'm a free Moor. Okay. I am a national. Okay. Which I'm in proper persona as a natural person. Okay. So the prophet came and brought us back our real true science, our real true history, our real true heritage, and our real true culture. And you're not saying Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali is not a prophet? Timothy Drew, born right here in North Carolina, okay, in the territory of North Carolina and Morocco. And you trying to tell me this is not a prophet? All you people sound lame and dumb. Gonna tell me, oh, where is the prophet at in the Bible? You damn idiots. The Bible, okay, was put together by King James and Arius, okay, which were Moors anyway. All right. So the prophet came after the Bible, you damn fools. And he came with a circle 7 Quran, You damn fools. So you take that Circle 7 Quran and you add it on to your Bible. You add it on to your Quran. You add it on to your Kabbalah. You add it on to your Torah. So don't try to play my prophet, because all you do is playing yourself. You can't never, ever, 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 ever play Noble Drew Ali. I'm debunking all the miscreants and all the misnumbers and slander about my illustrious prophet. Okay? I won't let you damn dummies slander him around me, because all of you people is going to need to be answered for all your treasonous actions against your own people. History will show at some point every nation has suffered slavery. Moorish Holy Quran 4716 appendix referred to throughout, the Quran. However, historical slaveries as described in the Torah, Old Testament, or Holy Quran. Albert, a volume bondage of involuntary servitude or the selling of families to other humans. The word slavery as a single expression in no way accurately defines the total experience suffered by the former inhabitants of Northwest and Southwest Africa. Slavery today, okay? And what I want people to understand, Northwest and Southwest Africa is referring to Northwest and Southwest America, okay, and adjoining islands. Northgate, Morocco, Al Marak, okay, Al Americanos, okay, we are Muslim people. So, slavery today is basically a word which has been desensibilized due to commercialization and political abrasion by the European nation. These watered down versions of the worst institution of dehumanization ever to vaguely describe what was imposed upon their foreparents. This is a never, never, never let a criminal describe his own crime, and it will always be to his favor and never ever include the totality of the victim's loss. So that's just like these criminals is telling you who the hell you are. They describing who you are. Okay? They told you who you are. In actuality, you didn't know who you were. You just admitted or acquiesced into being I'm black and I'm proud. James Brown, when you knew about the Moors, when you had a Moorish group, yeah. There's a lot of history about the Moors here in so-called Americas, North America. Morocco! Yeah, the empire, not the kingdom in 1956. I'm talking about the empire. Because we're going to strike back. Yes, we are. So, the word Holocaust is a single expression used to describe the Germans' ethnic cleansing of the Jews. Yet, that Holocaust, when compared to the Mafa suffrages endured by the Moorish peoples of West Africa during the entire history of the United States, is quite mild in numerical terms in years or duration. It is like comparing sandboxes to beaches, with everyone's attention focused on the sandbox. This is not to say anyone evil is greater than another. Is Albert, the Jews have historically been cast on the stages of fallen humanity, because that's just another way of trumping up bull crap for these so-called Jews, which we know they're not. They took on so many of our identities and took on so many things that Moors already set up for themselves. And if the Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't come back and remind us of who we were, we'll still be in servitude right now to this day. And then these people have the nerve to come out their face and talk crazy about our prophet. These people have the nerve to come at real de jure Moors. I don't care about these people talking crazy. I don't care about these people thinking that they have better knowledge than Moors. You don't, because we have the receipts. I don't care who you is. You call yourself supreme sheik or supreme grand council, whatever. All you people, all you did was sit on your ass and stay in your temples, and you don't even wear your feathers out in the public, because y'all on that same wave pattern as being a Masonic order. Y'all turned the temples that my illustrious prophet came and brought us, okay, and y'all took them and transformed them into y'all own dirty little Wakandas, okay, and that's what y'all people then did. So don't try to come to me and talk crazy to me about y'all people talking about you uplifting fallen humanity. When and where, fools? You're not active. You people is not talking to people in the streets. Y'all not opening up your temple doors. You're not teaching the children. Because if you were, things would be totally different right now. We have receipts of Moors going to these temples and they running these Moors out of the temple. But we all supposed to be love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, right? Right? So if we supposed to be love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, why? Oh, please, why do we have to go into this bull crap as far as what's really afforded to us? Huh? Why? Because people want to lie. That's why. That's why. People want to lie, and people want to take credit for things that they don't really need to be taken credit for. Really, that's really that is really the facts. Like, that is the facts. Okay? Our prophet, he came and he brought everything to save a nation. Everything from his oil, his healing oils, his tonics, his healing oils, tonics, and teas, natural healing. Okay. For his financial institutions that he was running. Okay. He had a treasury. All right. He was doing business. Okay. Supreme business manager thanks fellow members. Okay. Fellow Moors, I am taking this opportunity to thank these who have answered our advertisement relative to the Moors having their own town, aldermen, police, judges, and etc. The prophet is looking forward to establishing this town in connection with a large farm during the year of 1929. Okay? And, it got down here on Green Bay. You see what I'm saying? But he was the supreme manager, okay, of the account. And, he was the one who really did some things to sell the prophet out. But the prophet came, and all the Moors had to do was just get with the prophet. You see what I'm saying? Because Christianity was forced on so-called black people, which was Moors, and really Christianity is another way of ancient, because it really is really called Christos. The aligning your chakras and your pineal gland and becoming Christ-like. See what I'm saying? But they took that and made it into the Eurobo, modern European, salvation, which is Christianity. You see, so now and before we gave it to the Yorubos, it was Muslim and Christians going at it, and they were both on both sides with Moors. So we have to understand these things, okay? Because there was a lot of our people who went into corruptness too. It's not like that they wasn't corrupt either, okay? It's not like that they didn't do things that was questionable. Okay, let's just be adults around here. People want to take all the good things, but they don't want to take the bad too. No, you got to take the bad too. You can't just take the good and just leave the bad. No. The bad got to go with it, because the bad is going to teach you what not to do. Okay? People have to understand where we're at as a nation, as a people. It is an undisputed historical fact that 85% of so-called African Americans are Christians today, because Christianity and Jesus were brutally forced and beaten into our ancestors. That's the lie they say by the Caucasians, and Caucasians are really Moors. Okay, so they didn't beat nothing into our ancestors. What they did is tricked our ancestors. Okay, took and killed off some of the people and sent off other people which they colonized, because the African slave trade was coming from Granada, Spain, okay, back to Americas, and the Moors was coming out of Granada, Spain, were rich. They was nobles. They had slaves and properties, because the slaves that they was bringing back was European Yorubos. Yeah. So we got to understand, submissive, better working slaves, and to worship a white God, Jesus, which we already know white is status, okay, which they really worshiping a pale entity, okay, sadly, all right. So the pagan Mithra, so Invictus, son, religion of the Roman Empire, of the Yoruba Christian slave masters, which they only enslaving you through your mind. Okay. They document it now because you can see the outcome. How to Make a Negro Christian by Kamu Maski Tahuti, The Religious Instructions of Negroes in the United States. White Presbyterian Christian Slave Plantation Owners, Reverend C.C. Jones, 4 sermons upon the great and this indisputable duty of all Christian masters and mistresses to bring up their Negro slaves in the knowledge and fear of God by their European Espoco plantation slave owners. So this Espoco plantation slave owners, Reverend Thomas Bacon. Yeah, it had to be some bacon, some damn pork, something that Moors don't even eat. And they bring in the Dr. Claude Anderson Introduction to Black Studies, which we know Black Studies is a caste system, okay, by Dr. Maline Karinga, The Slave Trade by Annie Mountainfield, The Negro Church in America. You see what I'm saying? So we have a lot of scholars that came in and wrote up a paradigm and did all these certain things to rewrite the history of Moors, rewrite the history, because we already know that you're not supposed to be eating pork even if you are a Christian, because in that you do not eat and touch it. That's Deuteronomy 14:8. Another one for pork. Do not eat and touch because pork is unclean. Leviticus 11, 7, verse through 8. Okay, God hates pork eaters, and eating pork is wrong. Isaiah 65, 12. Okay, and God is irritated by pork eaters. All right, and that's Isaiah 65, 3 through 5. Okay, so why everybody is going against what what the Bible is saying? Oh, because certain doctrine that was made up, which is dogma, was included into the Bible, so y'all can disregard what the Most High told y'all. Y'all, y'all are hypocrites. Okay, you have slave codes. Okay, and the slave codes made blacks and their children property or chattel for life of their white masters, which we know white is status, black is slave. Okay, in some colonies it was a crime to teach a slave to read or write. Right, so conversion to Christianity did not qualify the slave for freedom. Okay, these black codes or slave codes would again appear during and after the Civil War era, right? So that means after the Civil War, 1865, they freed the slaves. So after the Civil War, they implement the same thing that we had for them on us. So if you do the research, you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay. So, certain things that, people try to come and play certain things will not be tolerated over here because you know more we stay with certain things that we're supposed to be studied. What I mean? Confederation law, treaty law, national law, constitutional law versus common law, United States statutes at large. Okay, so things that we need to know should be always manifested and studied. C-test QV law too, that need to be studied. Black Christian codes need to be studied. Okay, of 1724, March 1724. Okay, and you know decrees the expulsion of the Jews from the colony. Then Article 2 make it imperative on masters to impart religious instructions to their slaves. Then you have Article 3 permits the exercise of the Roman Catholic creed only. Every other every other mode of worship is prohibited. Okay. Article 4, Negroes placed under the direction of supervision of any persons then a Catholic are liable to confiscation. Article 5, Sundays and holidays are to be strictly observed. All Negroes found at work on these days are to be confiscated. Article 6, we forbid our white subjects of both sexes to marry with the blacks under penalty of being fined and subjected to some other arbitrary punishment. We forbid all curates, priests, or ministers, missionaries of our secular or regular clergy, and even or chaplains in our navy to sanction such marriages. We also forbid all our white subjects and even the manumitted or freeborn blacks, which are Moors. Okay, of course, what I mean? Or it could be freeborn blacks of Yoruba descent that was here and we gave them their freedom. See what I'm saying? You have to go into the context of knowing what was going on before this day and time. Okay. So I really do suggest you people to look up the Christian Black Codes of 1724, March 1724. Okay. And, you know, it's a lot of things that come into agreement as far as what is real and what is not. Okay? And what is real is that our prophet is declared by his works, and you know by the works of our prophet that he was the man. He came with the Moorish Divine and National Movement, Old Canaanite Temple, Newark, New Jersey, 1913 AD. And then from 1913 AD, he later turned around and he established the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and he did that civic organization, okay, in 1925 AD. All right. Then the Moorish Science Temple of America, religious organization, 1928. So what he did was he came up the Old Canaanite Temple, right, which he started with the teaching and the civic organization. Then he merged, okay, the civics with the religious, and then that became, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, 1925, 1926, and then the Moorish Science Temple of America, religious organization and civic organization merged together, okay, which we'll call a Druid society, okay, because he had schools for Moorish children, he had industry for business, he had press for the newspapers. Like Moors had their own press. Moors kept their newspaper and what was going on in their communities prevalent. You see what I'm saying? So he can Moors be privy to the information what's going on in their nation. So we had the press newspapers, then you had the Young Businessmen's League, then you had the Women's Auxiliary, then you had the Moorish Community Development, then the biggest chunk is the civics and law, instructions and communications. Okay, all right. So if the prophet had civics and law, what happened to the civics and law now? Why all these temples talking about they just a religious organization? What happened to the civics? I'll wait, because all of them are sellouts. All of them are 501c3 and Moorish and National Divine Inks. Our prophet didn't make no Moorish and Divine National Ink. That's treason. That is treason. So once you understand who your prophet was and what he did, you'll come to a very, very, very fine and righteous understanding of your prophet. Okay? All right, Moors? So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted at all. And a lot of things, that our prophet brought, and Emily he held certain things down too. You know what I mean? That a lot of our people are afraid to come with. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna have to give honors and give thanks to our illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He came back in this day and time to uplift fallen humanity. And what people don't get is that if you don't understand or know your prophet, then somebody's going to try to come and play you about your prophet. And I'll leave you guys with that. Peace, love, and Islam. And I'm going to leave out with this one, Morris. Peace.
Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth connected.
Tell me who. You better tell the truth. Tell me who. You better tell the youth. Tell me who. You better give me their names. Tell me the truth. Don't tell me they. Yo. Who stole the gold in the land that we own? Who backs the commissary notes that we hold? Who responsible for the blow that's sold in the ghetto, killing off the people in the fold? Who got factories making the cats? Who got plans to turn our daughters to rats? who had nothing but stars on their back. Now they floss diamonds and push Cadillacs. Who get a slap on the wrist for slinging coke? Who get an 8 to 10 for saying dope? Who get 8? They say it ain't hope. While Farrakhan and Magic say that ain't so. Who built this country up? Who took it? Who's at Guantanamo Bay? Who's really cooking? Who ain't just evil? Who's evil looking? Who heard them gunshots? Who's booking? Tell me who. You better tell the truth. Tell me who. You better tell the youth. Tell me who. You better give me their names. Tell me truth. Don't tell me they. Yo, who got us to sign birth certificates? Who made power to the people insignificant? Who's African American, the same time a little bit Indian with many different shit all mixed with it? Who made the deficit? Who has to live with it? Who turned babies to mayo and delivered it? Who has rights? Who has benefits? Who is a sovereign preamble citizen? Who does the Federal Reserve answer to? Who found a way to slave master you? Who is these fools in blue harassing you? Who's my soldiers that know what they have to do? Who got pounds of trophy for 2 stacks? Who don't leave the crib without 2 cats? Better yet, don't leave the crib without 2 Macs. Who know these dudes ready for attack? Who got money to spend on a bitch? Who got ways to deal with a snitch? Who got rich but they crips back in the projects? No crips, no whips. Tell me who. You better tell the truth. Tell me who. You better tell the youth. Tell me who. You better give me their names. Tell me truth. Don't tell me they. Tell me who. You better tell the truth. Tell me who. You better tell the youth. Tell me who. You better give me their names. Tell me truth. Don't tell me they. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who.
Psych ops working for the beast. Psych ops working for the beast. Psych ops working for the beast. Elaborated, hypnotized, liars to the naked eye. You better be studious with your concernment of the real truth, endeavorment of the law of the land. Scientist, more science that is. I don't care about the bull crap. Cause I self-law am master. Our story is vast. I am a mo, so I have plenty of rounds of nothing but intellectual knowledge, son. I don't care about the bull crap you try to confuse the people. Unrelated, unrequested, your bullshit manifested. You out the door. I don't care about that bullshit anymore. It's all about the truth. It's all about the love. It's all about the peace. It's all about the freedom. Justice wanna swing my saber tar across your neck. I smit your ass, and now you give me some respect. I don't care about the bull crap. I come in with the real one to the real son. So all you psych ops working for the beast. 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 I am the marvelous light. The that takes flight. The darkness, yo, I fight the desires forever. Do the diligent, noble and true. Like do I lead my prophet? I don't entertain foolishness because I am privy to the information. It's pertinent. When I inform my people, I am that I am the nation by the guiding light of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, of the highest plane known to life for man. I am that I am. Put me on the
I do my thing, son. And I don't care about the bull crap. You want a fair one, I give it to you. I don't have to shoot the breeze with you. And I ain't gotta kick it to lie. I'ma stay real and do what I wanna feel about lifting the troops up and lifting my people up. You suckers just throw up. You suckers are messed up. You got your mind going off of Molly and pills. You better get up off that bull crap and know what the deal is. You too mad. You too hating. You better love instead of hating. You better get yourself some revelations. Sin is in the eye of the beholder. But I'm telling you, you better get up off your shoulder, stop smoking, and stop doing the bull crap that's going to put you in incarceration, fam. I'm just trying to uplift fallen humanity. That's the marvelous life. So you won't have to take flight to another prison ride. They got you locked up because you fucked around and fucked around. We say ops, yeah, working for the beast. They gave you 100 years. Now you looking in the cell and you crying fucking tears. Islam.